You've probably been told that buying a cheap, ugly car is basically setting your money on fire. I'm here to tell you that's completely wrong, and I've got 23 years as a mechanic to prove it. Right now, other mechanics, the same people who see engines die every single day, are quietly buying these exact 5 cars for parts money while everyone else laughs at them on the used lot. 5 cars. Every single one under £10,000. And every single one built with an engine designed to cross 300,000 miles without falling apart. No fluff, no 5-minute backstory, no filler before I get to the point. Everything you clicked this video for, you're getting right now. If you skip this video, here's exactly what happens. You go buy something nice, something with a badge that impresses your neighbor, and in 3 years you're pouring money into a transmission rebuild. Stick around, and I'll show you the 5 cars that just refuse to die. Let's get into car number 5. Car number 5 is the Toyota Avensis. And yes, I can already hear you laughing. This is the car people call the taxi, the beige box, the car nobody has ever once described as exciting. That reputation is exactly why you can pick one up for pocket change while everyone else fights over a Golf. Under the bonnet is the 1ZZFE, a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with a timing chain, not a belt, so there's no 600-pound bill waiting for you at 100,000 miles. No turbo bolted on to chase performance figures. Simple port injection instead of the direct injection systems that clog up with carbon and cost a fortune to clean. It's an engine built to be forgotten about, which is exactly what you want. I had a customer, a delivery driver, buy a 2009 Avensis with 118,000 miles for £2,200. 18 months and 40,000 miles later, his only bill was a set of brake pads. Compare that to a same-year VW Golf with similar mileage. You're paying £3,000 more for the exact same reliability, purely because the badge on the front makes people feel better about themselves. That's badge snobbery, and it's costing buyers thousands for nothing. The Avensis doesn't care what you think of it. It just starts, every morning, for another decade. But if you think that's a shock, wait until you see car number 4. Because what's under its bonnet is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about unreliable brands. Car number 4 is the Skoda Octavia, the MK2, and yes, this is the car your granddad drove. That's the joke people make. Boring shape, boring color options, the kind of car nobody puts on a wish list. But underneath that unglamorous body sits the 1.6-liter or 2.0-liter engine shared with the Volkswagen Group, built with a kind of over-engineering VW themselves stopped bothering with once badges got more expensive than the metal underneath. Paired with it, in the right versions, is a simple manual or the old-school automatic, not the dual-clutch DSG boxes that were quietly recalled for burning out under normal driving. This is a transmission that just shifts, and keeps shifting for a very long time. I had a single mum come into my shop needing something to handle the school run, groceries, and the odd trip to IKEA without draining her bank account. I put her in a 2010 Octavia with 96,000 miles for £2,800. 2 years later, her only cost was a new set of tires. Now compare that to a modern equivalent with a DSG gearbox and a turbocharged engine. You're not just paying £5,000 more upfront, you're gambling on a gearbox that has a well-documented history of catastrophic failure around the 80,000-mile mark, with repair bills north of £2,000. The Octavia doesn't gamble. It just works. But car number 3 is where things get interesting, because this is the one car on this list where mechanics actually argue over who gets to buy it first. Car number 3 is the Honda Civic, the 8th generation, and this one genuinely annoys me, because its reputation is completely undeserved. People call it dull, forgettable, a car for people who don't care about cars. What they don't know is that this generation runs the R18A, a naturally aspirated engine built right before manufacturers fully committed to planned obsolescence. Timing chain, no turbo, no direct injection carbon buildup, and a build quality Honda hasn't matched since. This is an engine from an era when reliable actually meant something to the people designing it, not just something they printed on a brochure. I've had one specific 2007 Civic through my shop 3 separate times over the years for nothing but routine servicing. Last time I saw it, the odometer read 314,000 miles. Original engine. Original gearbox. The owner just kept changing the oil and ignoring everyone who told him to upgrade. That's not luck. That's engineering. Now before I get into car number 2 and the number 1 pick, I need to say something, because what's coming next is genuinely the entire reason I made this video. Car number 2 is one that people actively mock online, make memes about, call embarrassing to be seen in. And yet, every single mechanic I personally know owns one. If you want to know which car that is, and you want to see the number 1 sleeper pick that most car enthusiasts have never even heard of, hit subscribe right now. I don't say it often, but this next part is worth sticking around for. Let's get into car number 2. Car number 2 is the Volvo S60, and I promise you, half the people watching this just laughed out loud. It's the car people joke gets bought by retired geography teachers. Boxy, unfashionable, the butt of every boring car meme on the internet. But here's what those memes don't tell you. Under the bonnet is the 2.4-liter 5-cylinder, the B5244, an engine so overbuilt it practically shrugs off neglect. Owners who skip services, who ignore warning lights for months, still end up with cars running well past 250,000 miles, because Volvo engineered this thing to survive people who don't take care of it. I had a tradesman bring his in for a routine check after 6 years of ownership. He hadn't touched anything beyond oil changes. Compression across all 5 cylinders was within a few % of factory spec. That almost never happens. Now, I'll be honest with you, because that's the whole point of this channel. The one thing to watch on these is the electrics, specifically the central locking module, which can act up around 150,000 miles. It's a £150 fix, not a deal breaker, but budget for it. Price-wise, you're looking at £3,500 to £5,000 for a clean one, while a comparable BMW 3 Series with the same mileage runs £3,000 more, purely for a badge that means more repair bills, not fewer. But everything I've shown you so far was just the warm-up. Car number 1 is so cheap, you could buy it for less than a used Corolla. And it drives like something worth twice the price. Car number 1, the one I promised would change how you think about cheap cars, is the Lexus IS200. And out of every car on this list, this is the one that gets disrespected the most. People see the badge, assume it's expensive to run, and walk straight past it without ever popping the bonnet. That's their loss, because inside is the 1GFE, a naturally aspirated straight-six shared with cars that built Toyota's entire reputation for indestructibility. Timing chain, no turbo, port injection, an engine so overbuilt for the power it makes that it barely has to try. I've personally seen this engine cross 320,000 miles on original internals. No rebuild, no replacement, just oil changes and basic servicing. I had a courier driver, a man who put more miles on his car in a year than most people do in 5, buy one for £2,600 with 140,000 miles already on it. 3 years and 90,000 miles later, his only repair was a wheel bearing. Here's where the price gap gets ridiculous. You can find a clean IS200 for £2,500 to £4,500. A used BMW 3 Series with a straight 6 from the same era, similar performance, similar badge prestige, will run you £12,000 to £15,000 for equivalent condition. Same driving experience, same engineering pedigree, 12 grand apart, purely because one badge photographs better on Instagram. Before you buy one, check the VVTi actuator for what mechanics call the death rattle on cold start, a common but cheap fix if caught early. Also inspect the rear subframe for corrosion, a known weak point on UK roads. Fix those 2 things, and you've got a car that will flat out embarrass anything twice its price, for less money than a used Corolla. So there it is. 5 cars nobody wants: the Toyota Avensis, the Skoda Octavia, the Honda Civic, the Volvo S60, and the Lexus IS200. None of them will impress your neighbors. None of them will get a second look in a car park. But every single one of them will still be running long after the nice cars, the ones with turbos and dual-clutch gearboxes, are sitting in a scrapyard with a blown engine and a 5-figure repair bill nobody wanted to pay. 23 years in this trade has taught me one simple truth: the cars people laugh at are usually the ones that last the longest. If this saved you from a bad decision, hit like and subscribe, because I put out honest advice like this every single week. And if you want to know which SUVs are actually unkillable, the ones dealers won't recommend because there's no profit in them, that video's coming next. Take care of your car, and it'll take care of you. See you in the next one.